Hi guys, welcome back to my Learn Music Theory series, and today we're going to build on all the concepts that we learned previously and learn something new. Alright, so the first thing I want to go over is we talked about a half step. A half step. And a half step is one note next to another note. So if we look on our keyboard and we look at middle C, C to C sharp or D flat, first black key there, that's a half step. Now if we go C to D and skip that black key, remember that was a major second, that's going to be a whole step. C to D is a whole step. D to D sharp or E flat is a half step. D to E is a whole step. Okay? So we have half steps and we have whole steps. Half steps and whole steps. Excuse me. Alright, and we can use those half steps and whole steps to make a scale. Now remember we talked about the chromatic scale, which was C to C including white and black keys. So a scale is a set of notes from one note name to another note name. So we're going to talk about a new scale today using this concept of half steps and whole steps. So I'm going to draw our treble clef and our lines. Alright. Now if we look at just the white keys, we're going to talk about, let's see, middle C there. Yeah, let's get it over here more. Middle C. And if we go C to D, that's a whole step. D to E, that's a whole step. E to F, that's a half step. F to G, that's a whole step. G to A, that's a whole step. A to B, that's a whole step. And B to C, that's a half step. So half step, one note next to each other. Whole step is two notes. And if we just play those notes that I said, it sounds like this. So just the white keys starting on C. What kind of sound do you think that has? It's got like a happy-ish kind of sound. Or a major sound. Alright? So that one is called C major. But we're going to use C again as an example, but this is the major scale and how to build them. So we start on C, and I remember C, let me see, and then remember C to D is a whole step. And remember we go by letter name. So the next one's going to be some kind of E. And D to E was a whole step. And then E to F, remember E to F are right next to each other on the keyboard. So that's a half step. And then F to some kind of G, and F to G is a whole step, and then G to A. G to A is a whole step. A to B, because the music alphabet repeats. A to B is a whole step. And then B to C. And if you remember, B to C are right next to each other. That's a half step. So that's how a major scale is built, using a whole step, a half step, a whole step, a whole step, a whole step, a half step. Now let's build one more major scale starting on a different note. Let's start on G, for example. Start on G, right there below middle C. So let's go a whole step, which is 2 notes. So G to A is a whole step. And then remember, it's another whole step. A to B is a whole step. So whole, and then half. So remember, B to C, that's a half step. C to D is a whole step. D to E is a whole step. And then we gotta go another whole step. E to F sharp is a whole step. And then the last half step is F sharp to G. So we just built a G major scale using our whole, half, whole, half. So here, this is what G sounds like. G to A, whole step. G to B, A to B, whole step. B to C, half step. C to D, whole step. D to E, whole step. E to F sharp, whole step. F sharp to G, half step. And you can build a major scale using any note using this formula. Whole, half, whole, half. Alright? So go ahead and practice that. If you have a keyboard at home, or you want to use the musictheory.net, they have a piano that you can use. Start on any key and just go a whole step, half, whole step, half. And just do that for as many different notes as you want and practice writing them on the staff. Remember, the first ledger line down is a C. And that could be your starting place, or the little swoop on the treble clef is a G. And that could be your starting place. Okay? So next time, we're going to talk about the minor scale and the formula we use for that. And then I'll talk about a shortcut that you can use where you don't even have to count whole steps and half steps. But we got to learn that so we can understand it before we move on. Alright, so go ahead and go on to musictheory.net. Under exercises, you can practice all this kind of stuff. You can go through your lessons. And thanks for joining me. Bye.